Hi, my name is Daniel Kennedy, analyst at 451 Research, a part of S&P Market Intelligence. I cover application security here at 451. Shifting left in application security is the idea that you're taking what used to be point-in-time scans of an application in production and moving it left through the SDLC through the various phases of development. So code construction, testing and build, all pre-production. The idea of doing this is to make it cheaper to fix defects, security defects specifically. If you can correct problems as close to code creation as possible, basically as the developer is writing them, you're correcting them in a way that is cheaper and more efficient. If you think about it, more people are touching a security defect as it moves through the various phases of this SDLC. The worst case scenario is a customer, or worse, a bad actor, finding a problem in production and leveraging it to do bad things with your application. Now, part of the reasoning for this, and we're saying almost a 20% increase in sort of shifting left over the past 5 years, is that the velocity of development changes has increased. DevOps, Agile, and just the general pace of development has increased dramatically. The idea that we can sort of keep up with that with point-in-time tests and security isn't going to work. So shift left is about enabling the security we need, but allowing development to move at the pace it needs to move at. Well, as I mentioned, 20% more surveyed enterprises have moved the use of application security testing tools, or AST, and mostly we're talking about static analysis as well as software composition analysis, to the development phase of the SDLC. The other key piece of evidence is over a 5-year period, we've measured the usage of these tools go from a near 70-30 split, with 70% being information security usage, to what is now a near 50-50 split between application development and information security in terms of the use of these tools. Application security testing is a combined effort of both teams in most enterprises, and as I mentioned earlier, in terms of the velocity of development change, that's absolutely as it should be, and a trend that makes perfect sense. Not everyone thinks there should be an additional term to DevOps, because DevOps is supposed to include security. Problem is, not every enterprise that's doing a DevOps process or using DevOps tool chains has integrated application security testing, or AST, into their SDLC. Using the term Devsecops helps illustrate those firms that have figured out how to integrate AST tools alongside their DevOps tools, or using their DevOps tools, to enable developers to do the security testing, as well as security to get reporting out of the process to indicate that application security concerns are being addressed. You know, for modern applications, those written in the last 5 years, it's probably more relevant to measure the composition level of open source in the application than whether it uses open source at all. Developers are not going to recreate the wheel. They're working for enterprises and creating custom business functionality. They're not going to write code where they can go get those functions from somewhere else because they're commodity or common functions. Because they're doing that, and because of that reality, steps have to be taken to measure the use of open source, be aware of what libraries are in place, be aware of potential licensing issues of the libraries in place, and most important from my perspective, understand what potential security vulnerabilities have not yet been addressed and what updates might be required. A software composition analysis, or SCA, solution allows an enterprise to do this. And integrating SCA early in the SDLC allows developers to have leverage over this process and update libraries as efficiently as possible.